Immediately, of course, DeWanna Bonner comes in. She gets booed by Fever fans.
And surprise, surprise, DeWanna Bonner got booed when she returned to Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
And just the disrespect, I can't get down with it. They booed her. She didn't say a word to the crowd.
At some point, the women gotta understand, it's a part of sport.
I said, oh shit, here we go. Because after the game, we'll probably hear from Alyssa Thomas talking about how racist Indiana Fever fans are, how vicious Indiana Fever fans are. No space for hate.
DeWanna Bonner strutted back into Indiana expecting applause, maybe even a little nostalgia. Instead, she stepped right into a firestorm of boos that shook the entire arena. From the second her name was called, the crowd at Gainbridge Fieldhouse let loose with a wall of noise. Every step she took drowned in hostility. This wasn't the usual mix of cheers and jeers for a former player. This was thousands of fans banding together with a single message. You walked out on us, you're not welcome here. The tension was electric, every possession carrying an edge, as if the arena itself wanted Bonner to feel every ounce of disappointment and betrayal. For Phoenix, the hostile energy was impossible to ignore. For Bonner, every shot, every glance at the stands was a reminder. In Indiana, loyalty matters, and you don't get a hero's welcome just because of your resume.
Foul on Sophie Cunningham. That is her first team second. Coming in for Phoenix number 14, DeWanna Bonner.
Was all that animosity really deserved? If you ask Fever fans, absolutely. Wednesday night was supposed to be Bonner's redemption arc, a veteran forward returning to the team she left behind, a chance to prove the doubters wrong. But from the instant she checked in off the bench, it was clear the fans weren't interested in forgiveness or second chances. The chorus of boos rained down without mercy, echoing through the building. Why? Because after only 9 games, Bonner bailed, demanded out, leaving her teammates hanging just because things got tough. In a league that lives for grit and underdog stories, her exit felt like a betrayal, and the home crowd made sure she knew it. Every single jeer was earned. That's what happens when you walk out on your team mid-season and expect to come back like nothing happened. So, if you support Indiana Fever fans and how they treated the quitter, comment "Bye-bye quitter" down below.
I am not saying anything to discredit DeWanna Bonner's place in the WNBA. I am simply saying I would have been shocked if Fever fans did not boo DeWanna Bonner last night. If we can't boo, I don't even boo. As someone who loves everybody, I'm not a booer, but I can support appropriate booing, and last night was like a prime example of duh.
What made the night truly wild wasn't just the sound. It was what happened on the court. Bonner checked in and immediately found herself the center of the universe, but not in the way she'd hoped. With every touch, the boos grew louder. But the basketball gods have a sense of humor. Bonner was blocked not once, but twice in the same possession by Lexi Hull and Natasha Howard. The Fever defense clamped down so hard that Bonner's every move felt doomed. The crowd, already on their feet, erupted as the shot clock ran out. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, sidelined by injury but still the heartbeat of the franchise, became the hype woman, waving her towel, getting the fans louder after every miss and every stuff. It wasn't just a tough game for Bonner. It was a night where everything she left behind rose up to shut her down. Fans, teammates, and even the player who took her starting spot. The message was loud. You don't get to walk away from Indiana and expect the crowd to forget.
So anyway, nonetheless, last night, good win. Good win from the Fever. Ari McDonald, Leah Boston. Leah Boston turned into a mad person in the fourth quarter last night. But, of course, let's set the table for these comments from Kaylee Copper, because she's the one that went after the fans.
Visually, it couldn't have played out better for Fever fans. While Bonner was struggling to find any rhythm on the court, Caitlin Clark was radiating positive energy from the bench, high-fiving teammates, and firing up the entire building every chance she got. Clark's leadership and enthusiasm were impossible to miss. She was smiling, giving pep talks, and making sure every Fever player felt the love. Meanwhile, Bonner's night only got worse. The stat line told the whole story. Just 4 points on 1 of 4 shooting, a single rebound, and barely any real impact in 21 minutes. For a player with her experience, it was a brutal reminder that reputation doesn't score buckets. And as Indiana's offense exploded for 107 points without their star, it was a statement. This was a team moving forward, fueled by new chemistry and a shared chip on their shoulder. The backstory just added fuel. Indiana brought Bonner in for her championship pedigree, hoping she'd elevate the franchise. Instead, she bailed when things weren't built around her. She gave them 1 good game in 6 tries, then asked out as soon as her role shifted. It was the classic case of someone wanting the spotlight, but not the grind. No wonder the crowd wanted her to feel every second of it.
But you gotta understand, okay? DB came to a team that believed in her, listened to her, right? Made her the leader. Literally made her the leader. If we can remember what Caitlin Clark stated about DeWanna Bonner, right? Said she has the strongest voice in the locker room. This team was excited to have her, right? These players, this organization, front office, right? All of them. They were excited to have DB. Then you had your funk, okay? DB went in the funk, all right? And honestly, I understood that it was going to take some time, right? It's going to take some time for them to figure out what they wanted to do with DB. So she was supplying the little small things that I was seeing. And the same thing I've been saying about the Indiana Fever, they've had games where I see the potential of them bringing it all together and becoming a great team. I've seen it, you know? I've seen the moments. So that's why I had so much faith in this team, right? So I was seeing those things with DeWanna Bonner. And then you sit out. You sit out, DB.
Of course, not everyone outside Indiana understood the reaction. Some Phoenix fans and even players like Kalia Copper tried to defend Bonner, saying she's a legend and deserves more respect. But for Fever supporters, the issue was simple. You don't walk away from your teammates and expect a warm welcome on your return. In most sports, loyalty is everything, and Indiana fans pride themselves on that old-school mentality. They didn't care about Bonner's excuses or her status. They cared about the effort she gave, or didn't, when it mattered most. She claimed she wasn't a good fit for Stephanie White's new offensive system, which to locals just sounded like, "I couldn't be the star anymore." It was clear. She wanted to be the main character, but when the play wasn't about her, she left. The fans saw through it, and so did the team. That's why the jeers were loud and the cheers were saved for the players grinding it out in the trenches. Players like Lexi Hull, who actually wanted to be there and who seized the chance to show up on the big stage.
And just the disrespect, I can't get down with it. They booed her. She didn't say a word to the crowd. People talk some trash to her, but we had her back. But it's just very distasteful for what their fan base is doing as far as when it comes to DB, because it's just like she's just the sweetest soul, and the situation didn't work for her, and that's just not what she wanted or whatever. But it's just, we don't need all of that. It's just unnecessary.
Fever fans sent a message all night long. Legends are remembered, but loyalty is rewarded. While Bonner struggled to find her footing and finished with just 4 points in a blowout loss, the Fever's new core was putting on a show. The contrast was impossible to ignore. On one side, Phoenix griped about disrespect, while Indiana let their basketball do the talking. Ari McDonald exploded for 27 points. Aaliyah Boston dominated with 22 and 12. Sophie Cunningham chipped in 12 more as Indiana ran up 107 points and left the Mercury in the dust. Lexi Hull, who took over Bonner's starting job, looked like she belonged, while Bonner's night turned into a cautionary tale about chasing your own spotlight. Even as Kalia Copper tried to stick up for her teammate, the Fever crowd wasn't interested in revisionist history. This was about more than one player or one game. It was about what happens when you quit on a group that believed in you. The team had moved on. The city had moved on. And now, after Wednesday night, it was crystal clear. The Indiana Fever are building something special, and there's no room for passengers looking for an easy ride. Go.
McDonald will try Indiana's first and knock it down.
Till now.
Indiana has to play a little bit differently without her, and that's fine, because what's going to happen when she comes back? I mean, Bibby's done this a million times in her time at Maryland and in practice.
After her monster game, Aaliyah Boston kept it classy and focused. She didn't dive into the Bonner drama or stoke the flames. When asked about the chorus of boos echoing around the arena, Boston just smiled and shrugged it off. Her only concern was putting up numbers and getting the win. "Honestly, that's got nothing to do with me," she said, making it clear her priority was the scoreboard, not old grudges. That's the kind of energy Fever fans have come to love. Boston let her 22 points and 12 rebounds do all the talking. The timing of this grudge match made it even sweeter for Indiana. Fans had one shot to show Bonner exactly how they felt, and they did not waste it. The basketball gods must have been paying attention too, because Arie McDonald had a career night. Sophie Cunningham chipped in big, and the Fever outscored the Mercury in a high-octane battle. The real beauty? The squad Bonner left behind just proved they're thriving without her. The team-first mentality is in, and the selfish, drama-filled storylines are out.
What was it like having DeWanna Bonner return to Indiana, with your thoughts on the fan reception tonight?
Honestly, that got nothing to do with me. I think DB returned because we were playing Phoenix, and so that happened to be that. The fans chose to do what they wanted to do, but for us, it's about paying attention to what we have to do here, and that was coming in and getting a big win, which we were able to do.
As the game clock wound down, the full impact of Bonner's exit came into focus. Indiana's chemistry was on another level. Even with Caitlin Clark still sidelined by her injury, she was right there, hyping up her teammates, leading cheers and staying engaged on every play. The crowd fed off her energy, celebrating every block, every hustle play, every moment that showed the Fever are about more than one star or one storyline. On the other side, Phoenix and Bonner were left searching for answers. The Fever, meanwhile, have completely shifted the culture. Players who want to be there, who believe in the mission, and who buy into the team's identity are thriving. The contrast couldn't have been more clear. Bonner left looking for greener pastures, and instead she found herself on the wrong end of a 107-101 loss and a fan base that had already moved on. For the Fever, the message was simple. Culture matters, effort counts, and this team is only getting started.
And I always found it weird that there wasn't, you watch an NBA game, they're booing the hell out of guys at the free throw line. I mean, why does that not happen in this league? I don't get it. It's supposed to be hard to play in an opposing fan base's arena. It's supposed to stress you out. If you're a great player, you play under that stress.
The story didn't end with the final buzzer. If anything, that's where the real message landed. Indiana fans walked out buzzing about their team's depth, grit, and togetherness, while the Mercury headed back to Phoenix with more questions than answers. Social media lit up, with Fever fans celebrating not just the win, but the statement behind it. This isn't about old stars or drama. It's about building something that lasts. Lexi Hull, who took over Bonner's old role, now has fans chanting her name, while newcomers like Arie McDonald and Chloe Beebe have become instant fan favorites. Even critics who once called Indiana's front office lazy had to admit these new pieces are working. Meanwhile, the Bonner revenge game just became another lesson in what happens when you quit on a team that's actually going somewhere. And now, with Clark's return on the horizon and the Fever playing real, winning basketball, one thing is clear: the future belongs to those who stick around, put in the work, and believe in something bigger than themselves. Indiana's not just moving on, they're moving up.